What's up,
And
Dion?
what's up? Welcome back to another edition of Coast to Coast. I am your co-host Beyond716 out here on the West Coast, and the man, the myth, the legend, Whittle 2K on the East Coast. How are you feeling, sir? Back
A
to
lot,
normal?
yeah, a lot better, man. A lot better for sure. I'm trying to play around with this light a little bit, see
Gotcha.
if it brightens me up a tad. All right,
Make it
yeah, yeah, I'm good, man. I'm a lot better than I was. Things got a little, kind of shaky for me over the last like week or two, so
hmm
I had to kind of take care of myself a little bit, man. But hey, man, we're
you know,
here, and
it's kind of fitting because it's kind of how our bills have been. A little shaky,
oh,
little
under the weather.
yeah, a little under the weather, right? It's
Jesus, man.
like
Yeah,
you had a little jet
it's
lag.
been
I
rough.
feel well. So, where do we
Yeah.
begin?
Um, let's begin where we left off, man. We were riding high, headed over to London to face the Jaguars. We talked a little bit to Travis
Mhm,
about the Jags, and we ended up losing that game. No problem. Nothing crazy. Then we had the Giants, right? Said,
mhm.
okay, Sunday night football, familiar face in Dayball. The Giants aren't great. Daniel Jones stinks. And we still won, right? We still won on a no call in the end zone on final play of the game. Just the offense was stagnant yet again. And what did Bills Mafia say? What did Bills Twitter say? Jet lag, guys. It was jet lag going over there. There was jet lag coming back. Okay,
Mhm.
sure, no problem. Jet lag. We'll go with that, right? And then we played the Patriots, and we gave up 29 points to the worst offense in the NFL. There are 32 teams. They're ranked 32 prior to playing us. Um, I don't know, man. It's where do we go from here, right?
I
So
mean, yeah, it was shocking, really. I mean, especially, you know how sometimes you feel like we can't enjoy nice things, Little, like we get that call against the Giants, right? Let's be honest, we don't win a lot of games like that. We haven't in our history, right? Then a week later,
right,
New England gets, a gift. They pick up the flag on the, legal man down the field on that screen pass, which I thought was the pivotal play of the game. But, I mean, like you said, we've heard a lot of these excuses. We've had injuries, of course, which, that's not an excuse. That's reality, right? But the jet lag. I mean, did the Baltimore Ravens have jet lag last week when they came from back from London and destroyed Detroit by
it,
30 plus points?
it didn't look
No,
like it.
no. So, I
They
mean,
look
yeah,
like
maybe
jet.
if
They look like a bunch of F-14s flying around the field, man.
they sure did. So, you know, it's really it's just the fact that we've scored 3 points in our last two games in the first
Right,
half
right.
against the Giants and the Patriots. I mean, shocking with injuries for both teams on both sides of the ball. What do you attribute to the slow start?
Uh, bro, it's there's so many different things that I could point to. Um, it's just, dude, we're not that good right now. I mean, like that's just the honest answer. The honest answer is the offensive line is playing well. The receivers are getting open. The quarterback isn't really turning up. Like the quarterback's playing well. Um, and it just still it's not working. I you know the defense is struggling. We're not getting extra possessions. We're not getting those short fields. We're not getting great field position. We're not getting what do you call it? We're not getting extra possessions. So on top of all of those things that is on top of the offense struggling right now, on top of the offense struggling, you also have to be honest and say, yo, the defense is just not. giving us what we used to have. Now you got to be careful about going for it on fourth down, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even if you're on plus side of the field, you got to be careful because you know your defense right now is not holding up. So you got to be a little less aggressive offensively. You can't take as many shots. You got to curtail your play calling a bit to make it a little more risk averse. Um, but it's just a really tough part of the season right now. And I mean, we're playing poorly right now, and we're either losing or squeaking out wins against bad teams. Um, it's difficult. I did not waver one time during that Patriots game. I had Lee Sean ringing my phone, talking about, yo, what are we going to do, bro? This is crazy. Like, it's the Patriots. We supposed to kill the Patriots. And I'm like, dog, we going to win this game. We
Mm-hmm.
going to win. We was down, and I say, yo, we going to win this game. Like, bro, we down 12. Like, they walking around like it's crazy. We scored a touchdown. He hit me up. I'm like, yo, I told you, bro. We're going to get the ball back. I said, the defense got to stand up right here. We got to get the ball back. Poyer punches out the fumble. We get the ball back. Lee Sean calls me again. He was like, yo, we got the ball back, bro. I said, dog, you about to go down there and score. We're not losing this game. Josh goes down there and scores. Leaves the field with about a minute and some change, a little less than 2 minutes to go, and a 3-point lead. And the defense follows that up with a 50-yard swing pass to Ramondre Stevenson, and they just could not make a play, bro. Could not make a play. And, we end up losing to a division rival. The margin of error is slim to none.
Mm-hmm.
The offense we'll get into some of the numbers, but the offense right now in the first half, it stinks. There's no identity. There's no plan of attack. I don't know when I'm watching this team. I don't know what we're trying to do when we take the field, and that's not good. We're asking some of the same questions this year beyond that we asked last year
Mm-hmm.
about
We
the offense.
we really sure have, Whittle. I mean, I know. Yeah, I saw a tweet from Aaron Schatz, and our DVOA offensively it was third the first 4 weeks, right? 29.8, and we're still at 20.1 fourth the last 2 weeks. But like you said, what's going on in the first half, right? What's causing us to have to play catch up like this? And what is Ken Dorsey designing to start the game, right? Like what is that plan, right? Is it Josh just going off script in the second half? That's allowing us to come back in this game. I mean, the way we came back Sunday, right? Didn't that kind of reminded me of the great teams, right? The great quarterbacks that pull out those wins, right? I mean, Josh was excellent on those last two drives, right? But unfortunately our defense just couldn't hold up. So sometimes the DVOA numbers can be a little deceiving. Oh, sure, we're fourth, but we need more consistency in both halves. So it could complement the defense, and maybe McDermott could dial up blitzes, or maybe we could create turnovers, right? That's the kind of defense we have to be, right? We're not going to be able to produce the same numbers from a DVOA point of view and things like that. We're going to have to create turnovers, and we're just not doing that either. So, I mean, I know the last weeks 5 through 7, we're now 28th in DVOA the last 3 weeks, and that's abysmal. And that's really where it kind of starts with me is on the defensive side of the ball. But I agree with you. Like, what is Ken Dorsey? Like, good teams come out right with a plan, right? What's our identity? What are we exactly, right? And we're in week 8, and we shouldn't be having these questions right now.
Right. And the truth of the matter is, I don't know. I wish I had an answer, and I just don't have one. I don't have one that's good, at least. What I do know is that we have a game against a team that we have not played well against coming up Thursday. Um, the our record against the Bucs. We played them 12 times so far. This will be the 13th time. We are 4-8 against the Buccaneers.
Mm.
And the Bucs have had some lean years, you know. but apparently so have we, right? Since
Yep.
we're 4-8 against those guys.
Yes.
Um, I have been looking forward to this game, uh, to facing this opponent since 2021.
Mm,
Right, that was the moment. Right, that was the moment where the season turned around for us. We
yep.
walked into that game. I think we were 7-5,
Yep.
and just like kind of going through the motions. We had lost to the Jags and uh, like we did a couple weeks ago. We lost to the Jags. That was a really ugly game. We started the season that year losing to the Steelers, playing
Hmm.
really sloppy football. Um, the Chiefs, I think the Chiefs beat us that year. They ran for, I think they ran for over 250 yards that game. So, I mean, it just was not a great. It just the season just wasn't really going well, and it
Hmm.
was right after the year we had gone to the AFC Championship game, and we were supposed to be the next team up, and here we are, stumbling and floundering out the gate to a 7-5 record. We go up against Tom Brady and the Buccaneers, and we end up losing that game. But before we dive too deep into that, let's introduce our guest of the hour, and I will sit back and let you take over here, sir.
Absolutely. So, without further ado, we have a diehard Bucks fan. He's a good buddy of mine. I've known for years now. We've worked together. He's a passionate fan, just like us, Whittle. College, NFL, follows the game 365, 24/7, like we do. He's one of those knowledgeable fans I know, and he played D1 ball as well. I want to welcome in my
Okay.
buddy Thomas Pryor from North Carolina and a Bucks fan extraordinaire. How are you, bud?
Doing well. How you guys?
Doing good, doing good.
Good deal.
Doing great.
Um,
So how you
Whittle,
feeling about you? Yeah, go ahead.
I had to say, I heard Whittle say he was, very much looking forward to this game after, 2021, and I was like, I think I remember talking to Beyond about that right afterwards, and
Oh yeah.
yeah, so I certainly understand, and um, you know,
Y'all
You re-
stole
we
one, right?
he remembers my
Listen,
rant, son. He remembers my
listen.
epic rant after that game.
That game cost us the 1 seed
Yeah.
that year. As a matter of fact, I apologize. That's not the year. I was wrong. That's not the year that's not the year that Kansas City beat us in the regular season. They ran for 250. That was the year before. That was the year we went to the AFC Championship.
Oh
That
yeah,
was the year we blew them out. It was
Yep.
we beat them 38-20, and
Yep.
we lost Trey White a few weeks later in New Orleans. That was it.
Mhm.
We finished with the same. We finished one game behind them, and I cannot. I remember thinking to myself the entire time, like, yo, if we would have got that game against the Bucs, bro, we would like everything will be running through us right now. I was hot, bro. I was hot after that
yeah,
game. Hot.
Beyond he was extra salty with Edmonds. He was
Oh
like, "Come on!" I was like,
yeah.
"Rashard Perriman runs a 4.340. What do you expect the linebacker to do?"
That wasn't his. That wasn't Edmonds' fault. That was
No,
on Dane
no,
Jackson.
definitely
That
not.
was on Dane Jackson.
Yeah, it was.
Dane
Yeah.
Jackson. So
Yeah.
I remember that play as well. Dane Jackson is in coverage. They're playing like basically playing like cover two match, right? So Dane is tracking a receiver that's running a shallow cross right across the face of Edmonds. So I'm like, all right, so he's gonna pass him off. And I'm watching like as I think I can't remember who it was. It might have been Godwin coming across
Typically, it's
on a
Godwin coming across on
yeah,
that little
right.
shallow.
The little shallow cross about 5 to 7 yards. And then Perriman came like on a delayed drag about 3 yards away from the line of scrimmage. And I'm watching this happen in real time and I'm screaming. I'm like, all right, Dane's gonna pass him off because Dane knows he gotta take the drag here. Dane doesn't take the drag. Edmonds is looking at him like, dude, what are you doing? Edmonds tries to catch up to Perriman. And like you said, Perriman's a 4-3 guy. No chance.
Yeah.
But it
And we were
never
down
should
what
have got to that.
24-3 in that game. Were we down 24-3 in that game?
I
Does this
believe
sound
so.
familiar,
I
Whittle? Doesn't it
believe
sound
so, yeah.
familiar about how they played
Yeah.
the first half of times?
The
Yeah,
crazy
because
thing
you.
is, though, it never should have got to that point because if you remember, somebody on Tampa Bay secondary had a fistful of jersey of 14 in the end zone right in front of the ref, and they never called it. We ended up
And
tying the game with a field goal.
I don't remember that play, but I can almost guarantee that it was Carlton Davis who had that fistful of jersey because that's how he does. Jamel Dean relies on speed. Carlton Davis just grabs you. So I'm a just go. It was Carlton more than likely.
Oh yeah. Oh,
All
yeah.
right, so Thursday night, Bucs versus Bills in Buffalo. Buffalo is currently 3-0 at home, undefeated so far this year. We got that going for us. We are currently on I don't want to say like it feels like a losing streak, but it's not. We actually won, and we're 1-2 over our last 3 games, but losses to the Jags and lost and to the Patriots. I mean, bro, how do we lose to the Patriots, right? So it's a game again. It's a game that features 2 quarterbacks taken early in the first round, 2018. You got Baker Mayfield, who's the number 1 pick overall out of Oklahoma. I like Baker Mayfield a lot. I was hoping that he would slip and slide all the way down to Buffalo, and I'm like, yeah, there we go. We got our Doug Flutie, but this one was actually has a ton of talent. We're good now, and it doesn't happen. He goes number 1. Then I'm hoping like, all right, well, we'll get Sam Darnold, right? Jets take Sam Darnold. And I'm like, all right, Josh Rosen. We need Josh Rosen, UCLA, and they take some big farm kid out of freaking Wyoming, north Fireball, California. I'm like, who the hell is this kid? Who is this guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Turns out to be the best decision. So far, it looks like Josh was the best quarterback. Josh Allen was the best quarterback in that draft so far. Lamar's doing great. He went later on in the first round to Baltimore. And Baker's seen a resurgence. I think Baker. I've always liked Baker. I've always thought that Baker was going to be a good pro. I was surprised that Cleveland. I was surprised that Cleveland gave up on him, but wasn't surprised that they gave up on him because of how things were going with him and some of the receivers. And sometimes you just need a fresh start. But he's down there in Tampa Bay now. Tampa Bay's got a couple Super Bowls, rich tradition of definitely winning and competing. Very, very, very solid roster. I like, what you guys have on the defensive side of the football. We tried to steal Levante David from you guys over the summer. I'm sorry about that.
Hey, come on now. That's my dog. That's my boy.
Yeah. but I've always liked what Tampa Bay's done is from a roster standpoint. Mike Evans out of Texas A&M, dog. I think he's had 1,000 yards ever since he was like 5 years old, and every single year. Chris Godwin, another really, really tough receiver. Tight end situations, kind of, we'll leave that alone for now. But I like Trey Palmer, kid out of Nebraska. I loved Rashad White out of ASU. And Chase Edmonds, I mean, but
he's banged up right now, so we're waiting to see if he can come back later on in the season. But
but I don't want to talk too much. I mean, I've talked enough already about your team. Like, I gotta leave you some room to talk about these guys. So yeah, let's get into Tampa Bay, man. if you want to talk to us a little bit about your journey as a Tampa Bay fan, and and just a little bit about the team, how they look now. Some of your young guys who's standing out, Kalijah Kancey, and
Oh,
we'll go
yeah.
from there.
Oh yeah. So my journey started in '95, and you know who got drafted in '95? So Warren Sapp. He was my favorite
Hmm.
college player. I told my dad, who raised me as a Raiders fan, so I can't say too much. Uh, and I told him I was going to the Bucs. He of course knows the history of the Bucs. But '95. It was like, oh yeah, go ahead. 8 years later, Super Bowl rolls up. He's like, "You rooting for your team today?" I said, "Yes, sir." And he said, "All right, well, you're going to watch it somewhere else." So my dad
Wow.
put me out for the Super Bowl, and rightfully so. I mean, it's his house. You know,
Yeah.
um, but
Not after the Super Bowl though, right? Yeah. Wow.
oh, I did not utter a word about that to him. Now, when I got to school, it was a different story because I was 16 when that happened. In the house, nah, didn't say nothing. Couldn't say nothing. My dad, you know how it is. Dad way bigger than me. Back then. So
Right.
now
Right.
I
Right.
say
Right.
something. No, I'm just joking. I'm not gonna say nothing. But yeah. So the Bucks right now, we're actually we're just like the Bills. We're 1-2 in our last 3 games. Had early bye week 5. You know, got absolutely, like, I'm so glad that it was raining. I'm happy and not happy that it was raining when we played the Eagles because that let me know that, hey, maybe we have a chance. And then the Eagles proceeded to, I think they're the only team to get over, 120 yards rushing on the Bucks in like the last couple of years. So, so that was a tough one. Then got a bounce back win, and then let this last game against the Falcons slip through our fingers. But you know, um, so very much on the same trajectory, I guess. Like we're mirroring each other right now. So tomorrow should be a really fun game, in my opinion, because it's a matter because we're built about the same. We both have good defense. You know, except when we played the Eagles, which should lose to last year's NFC champion, I guess. But young guys, uh, dog plays Cansey. He's doing what he needs to do out there. I do want to see a little bit more Yaya though. I personally am a little biased here. I want to see more Yaya off the edge,
Mhm.
instead of uh, Tryon Sharinka. I probably butchered that man's name, but it happens.
Absolutely.
Um, but yeah, defense has been keeping us in games. It's just need to figure it out on offense because we can't run the ball very efficiently. Um, and everybody in the stadium, just like everybody knows the ball's probably going to 14 for you guys, it's going to 13 for us. So everybody tries to stop him, and yeah, I don't know, man. We got to figure that out myself. That's how I feel. So,
Absolutely. We do have a question from Pat
oh
the
god,
Bill Will, and for you, Thomas.
oh
How
man.
does I'm looking at here, it says, how do you feel about your secondary going up against our wide receivers in general from a matchup standpoint, would you say?
Uh, I'm more so worried. Well, if we're including the entire receiving core, if Knox was playing, I'd be absolutely horrified because tight ends just run out there. If you have 2 good tight ends against us, somebody's getting 100 and something yards. I'm sorry. But I overall I do feel good about our secondary. Again, we got Carlton Davis out there who's he's gonna play his technique. give me that shirt. And Antoine Winfield over the top. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
since
Yep.
he's gotten in the league, he's been one of the top safeties in the game. So I very much like that matchup there. But I have seen that we've been blitzing him a lot more lately, so we're taking him out of the, So I don't know how I feel now that I say that. I'm a little hoping Ford can get to Josh more than more than anything.
So, a couple things I wanted to get into, a little bit of the numbers, right?
Mhm,
And we'll start with the quarterbacks. Uh, Josh is having a phenomenal year so far. I mean, despite the team being 4-3, Josh Allen's playing probably the best football of his career since like 2020. Um, he's second in passing touchdowns. I believe he's second, might be
Mhm.
third at this point. In passing touchdowns, number one in total touchdowns. The interceptions are there, but they're not. They're right on par with the rest of the quarterbacks, at the top of all of the statistics. Top five, I think he's like top seven in yards. Just completion percentage, he's like top three, top two maybe. He was leading the NFL in completion percentage, but he's having a really good year. On the flip side, so is Baker Mayfield, right? So I'm gonna put this up and we'll talk a little bit about it. Um, yeah, so sorry, we're all on the way. Y'all see, sorry, sorry about that. But yeah, so if you look at the numbers, man, like Josh, Josh is outplaying Baker, but it's not like Baker is not having a good year. His
Mhm.
interceptions are down, the touchdowns are solid. He's managing the game. He's not doing anything crazy or out of the unusual. You got to be happy. I mean, how do you feel about what Baker's been doing so far this year?
Oh, I I told people when we first got him, I was like, he's going to be good. Like I was one of those people where this is going to be the best receiving core in my opinion that he's had to play with, and I know how everybody
Yeah,
feels
no
about
question, no question.
OBJ and everything, but I was like, he's going to have some. He's going to make some plays. So he's been playing great for my expectations. I would love to see him. Um, I hate to say it, but and I know how you guys feel about Josh on this, but I would like to see him run a little bit more. In the games we won, he's used his legs a lot more, and I. But other than that, he really is taking care of the ball for the most part. I mean, they're both what 50-50 guys basically right now. Like for every two touchdowns, they might have an interception.
Yeah,
Maybe,
roughly. Yeah,
Mhm.
so,
somewhere around there.
I mean, I still take that ratio. It's better than 30 for 30, right?
Mr.
Wow,
Winston?
I didn't. I wasn't even going to bring that up, man. I was going to leave that.
I'll
I
bring
was
it up.
really going to leave that one alone.
I'll bring it up. But yeah, no, Baker's doing well.
Okay, so I'm really big into the draft. So I do a lot of looking into these prospects and different things like that. Um, I liked your draft this year. Not a fan of Sean Tucker. Did not think that he was a didn't think he was a good prospect. Everybody in Bills Mafia, like we got a bunch of Syracuse guys out here. So, well, I mean, out there. I'm in Jersey, but you got a bunch of Syracuse guys out there, and they swear up and down by Syracuse guys, and I just didn't think he was that good, to be honest. But whatever. Um, I don't know how he's playing for you guys. I was a big Rashad White fan. I was hoping that Buffalo took Rashad White actually in that draft. I wanted him in the third round. You guys ended up getting him. I thought that was an excellent pickup for you. I don't know how he's playing now. Cody Mock is another guy. You guys just picked him up this year in the draft.
Mhm.
A lot of Bills fans were screaming up and down, "We got to get Cody Mock," and I was like, "No, we don't, because he's undersized." So and you guys got Kalijah Cansey, Aaron Donald 2.0, allegedly. We'll see. That's the comp. That's the comp. That is the
some
comp.
big,
I
that's
That's
some
mean,
big
it's the comp.
shoes.
that's a huge
The
comp.
big
Yeah.
big shoes to fill, but that's
Yep.
the comp. And a guy that a lot of people probably don't know about, but was one of my favorite prospects the year he came out, Zion McCollum. I absolutely love that kid. 6'3", 6'4", long arms, runs at like a 4.35, 4.36, like just insane physical specimen as a corner. I just whenever I see a corner like that, I just think about what McDermott can do with that guy. Like once we get him in the building, we are gonna coach this kid up, and he's gonna be a star. And Zion McCollum is one of those guys. The physical profile that I think the NFL is turning towards when you're talking about your cornerback position, somebody over 6'2", 6'2" ish. Long arms, can definitely run, fluid hip movement, all of that, all of the things that you're looking for. He has it. So what young guys are standing out for Tampa Bay, and which one of the young guys would you like to throw back to the NCAA?
Oh man, throwback to the NCAA. Oh, that one, I'll get to that one later. But a guy that really stuck out to me early on is actually one of our secondary members, and I like him more because he's a short guy. You know, um, God, what was his name? I can draw a blank on the boys and the name right now.
Was this from
Uh,
last year's draft?
n- no, I think we just picked him up this year. I think it was
What
no, it's not
what
Isaac.
what round? What round did you take him in? He's a corner?
No, they got him listed as a safety. That's why I'm missing it. It's Christian Isian. He's leading
Okay.
he's leading the team in interceptions. And I'm sorry, I didn't know you could be, 5'9" and be a safety, but that's just, you know how it is. They list you at the 5'11", 6 foot, but we all know what that really means.
Right.
Nah, he's 5'8". But he's been playing well in the slot for us, at least early on this season he has. I really think that they need to, like I mentioned earlier, I think Yaya needs to get in there a little more. Because I'm a big player person on experience. Like if they mess up, they mess up, but I need them out there, to gain that
Right.
experience, especially as a rookie.
Right.
Um, One I'd like to throw back, like a duo repeat. Ooh, I think I might be with you. I don't know if I really wanted uh Cody out
Yeah.
there. Like I feel like there were some better offensive linemen that we could have got, especially with Donovan Smith leaving, and we already said we were moving Tristan Wirfs to the left tackle. Can we shore up the right side a little bit? Maybe get somebody younger. I would have liked to have seen something like that, especially the way towards the end of the season Steiny was playing. You had a guard right there. You could have left that alone and tried to go with a tackle, but I guess that's why they play Jason like the big bucks. So, because I certainly wouldn't have done that, but
Well, I'll tell you what. One thing that warms my heart every night. 58 teams passed up on Osiris Torrance. Okay, 58, and we were one of them. Right, we were one of them in round one. But 58 teams passed up on that guy. Some teams did it twice, and yeah,
yeah.
I'm just happy. I'm happy to have him. So, question now, Todd Bowles. How do you feel about Coach Bowles?
Oh man, we talked about this earlier too.
We did.
Um, I mean, we're getting the defensive guy, if you will. our defense, since he's been there, has been tops in the league. I just, I don't know. Need to do something on offense, figure something out, because like even last year with he who shall not be named on your cast right now. Uh, like I still felt like they just weren't things just weren't flowing, and they blamed Byron, and I was like, it wasn't Byron. It's
Right.
obviously not Byron. So I I wouldn't be upset if there was a change, but I'm also not upset if he stays. I guess is how I feel. Like I'm impartial for the most part.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I think I would be too, to be honest. If like, let's just look at some of these numbers, man. The defense, your red zone defense is number one in the league. They're allowing a touchdown on 22% of the trips to the red zone by
Mhm.
opposing teams. Um, turnover different percentage, turnover margin, number one in the league, 1.2.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Ritter.
so
Appreciate that for saying.
I mean, the only thing is though, you guys don't really get a lot of sacks. Um,
No.
yeah, tied for 19th. Well, not tied, but you're 19th in the league at your in sack percentage. I think it's like 6.8%, something like that. I mean, no problem. That's not that big of a deal because you're not giving up points in the in the end zone. You're not giving up points in the red zone, but uh, like do things like that worry you when you're going up against one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL?
Oh, for sure. I mean, us, like, yeah, we got a great red zone defense, but I mean, if you go back and look who scored on us in red zone, it was mobile quarterback. Guess what that giant man y'all got can do? He can run the ball, can he? I know. Again, I know y'all don't like when he does that too much, but I mean, I'll take that. And plus, we have a bit of a tough time with bigger backs as well. So I was telling Beyond earlier, I was like, y'all get inside of the 20, I'm expecting a huge dose of Latavius Murray because when he was with New Orleans, that's what they did, and that's how they were able to score on us. Even though, again, a couple years back, like I said, defense has always been there.
Mhm.
So and also I don't want 14 to just be running around in my secondary all willy nilly, and it never fails. Like just like I did watch some of that Patriots game as well, and it's like, man, why can't they get him the ball? Why can't they get him the ball? And then all of a sudden he's over top of everybody, and I'm like, well, y'all, everybody else fall asleep, and I'm really hoping my safeties don't fall asleep like that. Um, so and again, I think we have some great coverage linebackers. Levante. That's why y'all wanted him. Um, and then Devin can run side to side, but I mean,
Not that
I,
great in coverage.
he's got the speed, but like I mean, what he got beat for? I won't even say he got beat. He didn't see Antoine Winfield was coming up to play against Desmond Ritter to make the play on him, and he came up and let the running back just fly wide open behind him for like a 60-yard gain. I was like, that's not your man. Like Antoine's right there. You still got to cover this guy because you come up and y'all both come up high. I mean, I could catch that one. And I was a DB, believe it or not. So you know what they say about DBs. So
Yeah, the reason you don't play receiver is because he hands. That's what they say.
I mean, right?
I played a little DB too, so I get it, man. I have to ask about the injury report, right? So I took a look.
Yeah.
at Tampa's injury report,
Mhm.
and I noticed that Godwin's there with a neck injury, and we're very cognizant about neck injuries after Micah Hyde missed, basically 95% of the
Yeah.
season last year with a neck injury. Those are very scary. Um, Vita Vea hasn't practiced all week with a groin. Baker Mayfield's on the injury list as well. So how are you feeling about this injury? And I think this is it right here. Let me see.
Hmm.
Yeah, there we go. So yeah, we got some. They
Some
got
big
another
names
one
on
of the guys. Listen, Kayvon Merriweather out of Iowa. I liked him. And I liked him. I was like, yo, we need. That's a guy we need. We need a safety, man. But we'll leave him alone. He's out
it.
anyway. Yeah.
Yeah.
So these are some big names, man. Um, Chris Godwin, Baker Mayfield, and Vita Vea, all questionable.
Hmm.
How confident are you that these guys end up playing tomorrow night?
They're all going to play. Obviously Baker's going to play because that, much like 17. Look, if I can still get up, I'm still going to play, right?
Right.
Um, Godwin, the neck. I mean, that one worries me. That I think he'll be a little more limited, so that'll probably change his route combinations.
Thank God.
And maybe
We
maybe Palmer or Tompkins can make up for that. Hopefully. Um, but Vita Vea, like, I mean, if you look at that list again, he's the only one out of the names we mentioned that did not practice, and that's because of the groin. Yeah, full participant
Mhm.
for Baker, full participant for Chris, so they're gonna play. Even Chase, full participant. But Vita, the groin is of all those injuries, the groin's probably the one that like just needs really the rest anyway, and
Right.
more than likely Baker's knee. But Baker's probably gonna, you know, you know what they're gonna do,
Yeah, they're gonna shoot him up.
shoot
They're
him
gonna
up a
shoot
little
him up.
bit, you know.
Can I got a question? If you lose tomorrow, can we borrow
Hmm.
Vita Vea for the rest of the year, please?
No,
Can
no,
as a
absolutely
little?
not, absolutely not.
I tried, Whittle. I tried.
I mean, I have to say this, and I'm sure there's a Philly fan that's probably listening, but they literally said like he was the only person to have successfully stopped that brotherly shove. And I was like, well, yeah, he's a 380-pound human that takes two people to block. So yeah,
Right.
that that happens. But no, you can't have him. And Levante either. I mean, I might let you borrow. You can borrow Carlton if you need him. Uh, if you're
Nah,
gonna
we
tell
good,
that
man. We trust
I
me,
hope
our
so, Whittle.
DBs.
I hope so.
Trust me, our DBs get enough flags on their own. We don't need any more.
not.
We don't need any more help. I got a question though. Like, you know, you guys are in a division that, I mean, let's be honest, it's not a bunch of juggernauts, man. I mean, I think you guys have the only division with a winless team in it, and you got a team that starts Desmond Ritter's the starting quarterback in your division, so that says a lot.
He beat
But
us.
yeah, that's like almost it's almost as bad as losing to Mac Jones, but um,
Not much is worse than losing to Mac Jones. I'll
Jesus
tell you right now.
Christ, bro, the
Zach Wilson.
32nd. Yo, we're losing to the worst quarterbacks in the league.
What
We
is
lost
up
to
with
Zach
that?
Wilson and Mac Jones in the same season. Oh God! Like what strand of the multiverse is this? And how do I get off? Um, no, real question though. What are your keys to win? And if in the event that you don't win this game, and while the division is still in play, let's say you go on a slide, just hypothetically speaking, At what point do you want them to start the sell, or do you want them to start to sell?
Ooh, I don't want to sell. All right, let me back up a little bit here. So looking just at our schedule coming up, obviously Bills, Texans, at the Texans, home against Titans, and then 49ers. That one we won't talk about right now. But
Yeah,
I
that's a tough stretch, man. Houston's playing very, very well.
Mhm.
they're
Very
playing
well.
very well. I mean, thank God we're good against the run and when we play the Titans. So and we'll have some practice of hitting somebody as big as Derrick Henry when 17's out there running somewhere. Um, but I have to say I mean the Panthers got in one time just by winning our division. What was it? They were
Weren't they 7-9, 8-1 or
seven
something
nine
at
and
7?
one. Yeah,
Yeah,
7-9 and
yeah,
1
yeah.
or something crazy like that. So I mean, I personally, for me, just not liking the Panthers. If we lose to the Panthers that are winless right now, then I'm okay with, you can sell off a couple pieces at that point. Because if we can't beat the Panthers, then I don't know what's going on. But really hope to see nobody leave. I really I like everybody that's on the roster for I think it's a very good roster. I think before the slide, they would probably need to switch up and maybe go Kyle Trask, see what you have in him before doing anything. Before getting rid of like a Mike or Chris or any offensive weapons at that point. Like see what if Kyle like can do something with them first. Which I mean, even then, I don't know. But I think yeah, if it looks terrible for us division wise, then I that's when I would say we gotta see about stuff. But a lot of them are
Yeah.
on 1 year contracts left anyway. So like I mean they're still trying to work on the deal to get Mike his money, but so that might be out of the question. They might pull a Christian McCaffrey from last year and just be like, oh, we'll take the picks and let him go so we don't pay him. Then then I'm not watching football, I think, at that point. That's how mad I'd be. I might have to take a Sunday or 2 off from it. I'll be very upset seeing them in somebody else's
Uniform.
uniform, so
Yeah, it's funny. I could feel your uncertainty there. Like we've been there, Whittle, right? With some of our Bills teams in the past, where it's like we're like
Oh
four
yeah.
and three. We're like, we could make the playoffs, or maybe we could win the division, but you still got a good roster. Like you don't know what you got in Baker Mayfield going forward. I mean, how long is he signed for? Is he signed for
1
more
year?
than a year? Just a 1 year. So
It's
they
this
don't
year,
have to
yeah.
be committed to him, long term. And with all these quarterbacks coming in the draft this year,
Yeah,
right? Depending on how you do. So this might not be a bad year to go get one of those QBs, but what if Baker is the answer, right? I mean, he has been pretty solid so far. So
he has been, and then see, then that's where I'm torn because, like, I'm like, yeah, it would help to go get one of the young guys, but Baker's serviceable or he's doing well this year. Like, he hasn't really shown me that he can't handle it. We just need to get, in my opinion, we need to get some more offensive line help. So that's where, maybe we get if we finish, somewhere around the top still in that draft order for some reason, or we make some moves, might get the kid out of Penn State. I would love that. Um, I mean, at that point, we would basically be doing what the Eagles have done. We have like 10 guys from Penn State on our team or something like that, or from the state of Pennsylvania, where they got all of Georgia on theirs. So, um, I that's that's where I'm at because I'm like it like and then you know me, I went to North UNC, so obviously I'm like I'll take Drake May right now. I know what he
Oh
can
yeah.
do. I watch him
Yeah.
every Saturday. I know what he can do, but it's like, but I'd hate for him to be in that situation. Like, yeah, come on to Tampa. Just make sure you move out of the pocket, or else you might be seeing the trainer real fast. I don't know. Um, so Um, so man, it's tough. It
It
really
is.
is tough.
All
Because
right,
again,
so
yeah, sorry.
No,
no,
no.
you good, man. So let's talk about keys to win it. If the
Mhm.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers are gonna walk out of Buffalo, out of Orchard Park, out of Highmark Stadium with a win on Thursday night, what has to happen?
The first thing is win the turnover battle. That's all obviously one, but when I say that, I mean Baker has to protect the ball, take his check downs rather than looking over top. Maybe take that little 4 yard pass there instead of trying to force the ball to Mike. And the defense, like we haven't, like you said, we're 19th in sacks. Maybe we got to step that up. Like that's where I want to see like Yaya come in and come off the edge, or maybe Tryon Sharinka again, butcher that child's name. I'm sorry, but maybe he can get a motor up his butt and actually go make a sack. Maybe Shaq Barrett. I know I've never had an Achilles tear, but I'm sure it still takes a while mentally before you really, really, really feel like yourself.
Yeah, bro,
Um,
they're not fun. I've torn my Achilles on each leg, so they're
Oh,
uh,
not fun. They're not fun.
yeah. But and then obviously scored a ball, but can't go trading, and also can't go trading the field goals for touchdowns. Can't let you guys score touchdowns while we're right there on the cusp. But I'm just like you saw, we're good in the red zone on defense. I think we're in the bottom part of the league in offense in the red zone. Um, so I like again, like I said, got to turn those field goals that we've been getting into touchdowns. So,
absolutely.
Okay.
And you know what else is going to be interesting about tomorrow? It's late October. It's going to be 73 degrees at Orchard Park tomorrow. I mean, what is
oof,
that, Whittle? Right?
I
I
don't know,
mean,
man.
Tampa bringing that warm weather
Well,
up north, right?
hey,
maybe. Um,
maybe it'll
so
help us out.
Yeah, that could.
maybe. So over the last few games, a nasty trend has been happening with the Buffalo Bills. They have no idea how to get into the end zone before halftime. I don't know what it is, but over the last three games, Buffalo's averaging 3.3 points a game in the first half. That's disgusting. That is absolutely disgusting. Um, so yeah, that's definitely got to change. Tampa's also not great at scoring in the first half either. Uh, 9 points over 9 points per game in the first half over the last three games, and that's not you. That's not where you want to be against this Buffalo Bills team, because at some point they're gonna snap out of it like, oh wait a minute, we're one of the best offenses in football. Davis, here Diggs, Kincaid, everybody, just points galore. I hope it's Thursday. I hope it starts soon. I hope it starts tomorrow. But at some point, I have faith that the Bills' offense will wake up and they will start scoring points. And the defense, we'll talk about that. But for now, on the offensive side, I'm fully confident that they're going to score. What is if you had to give me your two biggest reasons as to why Tampa Bay is having trouble scoring in like the first half of games, what would they be?
Um, First thing is we try to establish a run game. That in every game that I've seen, like that first quarter, no matter down distance, it could be 1st and 15, 1st and 5. We're going to try and everybody knows, everybody in the whole stadium knows that we're about to run this ball, and it's a zone blocking scheme because, again, like you said, Cody's undersized. I think Hainsley's undersized for a guard as well. So we try and do that zone blocking, but I mean, uh, as much as I too like Rashad White, but sometimes he can't plant and see that he needs to go backside. He
Right.
tries to slam up in there, and so I honestly think that it turns into us trying to establish that running game so much early on that it takes away from because I get it. You got to set up the pass with the run and all that stuff, but I mean, if teams know you can't run the ball, they're still not going to respect your run.
Right.
Um, And I would say the another reason is just as much as Baker has been making the right decisions by not throwing into coverages and things like that, he also has been holding on to the ball a little longer than he needs to. And in my opinion, if you're going to do that, then I'm gonna need you to skedaddle up out of that pocket and start running a little more. I'll take a 5-yard run out of bounds or something like that. Just get me something, you know, instead of standing back there and oh God, he just stands in the pocket sometimes a little too long for me. Sorry. But yeah,
It's just
that's
sometimes he
basically
tries to make he's too overzealous. He's trying to make a play. So he's so
yeah.
eager, right, to make a big play. Like you said, sometimes it's good just to take that 5 yard positive play, and they just add up. If you
Yeah,
do 6 or 7 of
Yeah.
those a game, that's huge.
live for
Yeah,
another play, man. Live for
yeah,
another
because
play.
you can see it. Like I saw it all Atlanta game. You just saw him just look at Mike and like I know Mike's about to cut on this guy and come back, Mike, so I can get it. And then next thing you know, he's getting sacked. And that's when I say the line needs to be shored up. But like I remember literally one play. It was 6, 7 seconds he had in the pocket. 6, 7. Any other quarterback, you give them 6, 7 seconds. What's happening? Like they either read, take off,
Mm-hmm.
or read, check down. And
Check.
I don't get it. But at the same time, he's not gonna risk that biscuit downfield. So
But that's good though. That's a good thing because
yeah.
Baker used to be viewed. Well, Baker was has been viewed as a gunslinger. So
Hmm.
it's good to see that he's learned from his past mistakes as a quarterback, and he's picking things up. Like I said before, man, I've always liked Baker as a player. I thought that I thought that Cleveland, was a cesspool for many years, and he got out right before they fixed it finally.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm a fan of Baker Mayfield. I'm I'm not. I have I have good relationships with some of the Tampa Bay fans on Twitter. My boy Fletch, who couldn't make it, he's at work. Uh, couldn't make it today for the show, but man, like Fletch talks to me. He chopped it up with us a little bit, talking about um, the Bucs earlier in one of our Twitter spaces, and
Mhm.
this is how I know your information is accurate because Fletch told me the same stuff, about Rashad White not having that vision and the offensive line issue. So um, we don't know if Ed Oliver is playing tomorrow. If he is playing tomorrow, I really like Buffalo's chances to pull this game out. Um, the offense has to get out of its own way. We got to figure something out. And maybe they're motivated. They go home, home crowd. Maybe they light the scoreboard up. Uh, I feel like McDermott, and you correct me if I'm wrong, Beyond. I feel like McDermott's been kind of hinting towards taking the shackles off of take the shackles off my feet so I can dance. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like they're taking. I feel like they're at the point now where they're just like, you know what, we got to do something because you got this stallion in the stable, bro. Open the door and let him go. Like at this point now, I don't want Josh hurdling anybody. I don't want him trying to run. I don't want him trying to run safeties over. Dude, just take off, slide, and get out of bounds, and let's move on, please. And I'm you brought up something Ty, you brought up something about getting inside the 20 and scoring points and how you expect to see a ton of Latavius Murray. Let me tell you something about the Buffalo Bills, man. There are lots of things that we expect to see, and Ken Dorsey's he's a very interesting guy because he always keeps us guessing every week. I promise. Because a lot of times I'm watching the game, but I have no clue what this man is trying to get accomplished. But red zone touchdown percentage of the Buffalo Bills are like I think we're second at 71%. We hit the red zone. We leaving here with something, right? We leaving here with something. We getting something, man. We not going home, empty. But this is a match that like I said, I've been looking forward to, man. We need to get this back in blood. I was not happy when we lost this game in 2021. So,
oh yeah. Thomas remembers my venom after that game, and I know that's exactly why he's laughing right now because he remembers my rant after that game.
I remember your rant at halftime.
Yes, you do remember my rant at halftime. Yep, I was texting like crazy, Whittle, just going crazy about that game.
Yep. You know the last scene of our intro video with Josh is from that game, so I thought it was kind of fitting. The last touchdown run on our intro video is from that 2021 game. That's one of my favorite. Even though we lost that game, the 13-second game, like if I had to look at games and say, these are my favorite losses, those two are probably up there, man, because I just thought that just the back and forth, man, like the back and forth for the 13-second game was crazy. And then the first half versus the second half of that Tampa Bay game in 2021 was it was unreal, man. It was unreal. It was like a different team came out of the locker room and just
it was vintage Josh and vintage Tom Brady, which it was definitely a treat for all of us.
And vintage Tom Brady referees.
Yeah, there it is.
Check clear, guys. Check clear.
You're just saying that because it was a home game for us? I mean,
yeah. They don't call Tampa Bay for nothing.
Yeah, we got a lot of experience with Tom Brady. I don't know if you know. He holds a 33-3 record against the Buffalo Bills in his career.
Yeah.
33-3. While he was in New England. And then he beat us in Tampa Bay. So, the man has tortured us for the better part of 20 years, man. So it's nice to see him not in the league anymore. Enjoy retirement, Tom. Stay there. And
thank you. He got you a chip. He got you a chip. So
he got me one. So that's all I can ask for, I guess. I just need right now. I'm hoping that Baker Mayfield can turn into Brad Johnson. I'm not saying this is the 0-2 defense, but we can step up
good.
like that. We can got a chance, got a puncher's chance as long as he does that. But of course, that was a different era of football. It's a different era of football 21 years ago. That's crazy.
Wow.
I feel old just thinking about it.
I feel old, right?
Yeah, we're all in this.
I feel old now, man. Jesus.
I mean, you think about it. We had Allstott as the leading rusher.
Oof.
Mike Allstott.
Mike
Yeah.
Allstott.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
a
What a name,
Yes.
right?
Hey.
What
from
a
Purdue.
name.
Yep.
Yeah. Hey, so like I said, man, I'm looking forward to this. This is gonna be. I think this is gonna be a really good game. We're gonna jump into score predictions, but I just want you to know, man. I just want you to do me a favor, man. And I do appreciate you coming on, but I want you to take care of some future Buffalo Bills. I want you to take care of our future wide receiver Mike Evans, and just please, keep that man in bubble wrap. We're gonna need him next
Come
year.
on.
I
No.
was saying, no way, right?
No. No.
Come
It's
on,
gonna have to
man.
be one big old hefty package if y'all want to get Mike. That's all I'm saying.
Man, Gabe, listen, I'll drive Gabe Davis to the airport myself. Trust me.
Yeah. Now, believe me, if there's one person that's going to drive Gabe Davis and Ken Dorsey to the airport, it's going to be Whittle there in the top left-hand corner. I guarantee
Oh
you
my God, bro.
that.
No, listen. I'm telling them, don't even pack, dude. I got it. Just get you to the port. We gonna get you to the airport. I got everything else. Don't worry about it. You'll meet your stuff down there. You gotta go.
We got it
You
all
got it.
covered.
Yeah. But yeah, so score predictions, man. You know, Buffalo's undefeated at home, but they've had trouble scoring. You guys got a great defense. Baker's been taking care of the football. This is a big game for both teams because both teams are kind of reeling right now after some tough losses, division losses too. What's your score prediction, man? What do you think?
I don't think that scoreboard is going to get as lit up as you thought it would, but even against my heart, I'm gonna go 23-16, but I got Buffalo winning that. It
Okay,
hurts the fan. It hurts the fan, but
beyond.
One of the keys tomorrow, Whittle, is something. You know how crazy the last 3 weeks have been? What has happened to Tyler Bass? I mean, he was our reliable kicker. It's been a little bit spotty the last few weeks, so we got to get him back on track, too. That's another key for tomorrow because I think it's going to be that kind of game. I say 27-23 Bills. Thursday night games are always interesting, as we know. Sometimes you never know what you're really going to get. We've seen it in many instances since this Thursday night football thing came back. So, yeah, I just hope Bass is on point. I expect Josh to be Josh, and I think we'll grind out a 4-point win. What about you,
Okay.
Will?
So I look at this game, right? And the Bills' red zone defense was sixth at 40%. Tampa Bay is obviously number one, 22nd. We score when we get to the red zone. They're taking the football away. I think this is going to be a bit of a shootout. There's only one team that scored more than 20 points this year over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think that number goes up to 2. And I also think that the Buccaneers light the scoreboard up. No more 9 points. And I think this is a game where, because of the defensive struggles that Buffalo's currently going through, and it's a short week after a Patriots loss, I don't know if that's enough time for Sean McDermott to fix it. We did bring Eli Anku back to the practice squad from after he got released by, I think it was by the Falcons, but not enough time to get him. I don't believe he'll be activated. So we're going into this game tomorrow with Jordan Phillips coming off of, probably one of his worst performances. Kendall Vickers is going back to the practice squad as soon as possible. Tim Settle, who plays the game at 100 miles an hour, even though 70 is the speed limit. He's still at 100 miles an hour, right past the play. The interior worries me a bit because Baker Mayfield can escape. So I'm highlighting the defensive tackles because I'm unsure of what we're going to get out of that group. If Ed Oliver plays, I think we win this game by 2 scores. But I'm not sure if he plays. But I will say that I'm gonna go with 31. I'm gonna go with 31-23 Buffalo.
Ooh,
I think,
more high
and I
scoring.
I'm kind of on the. It might be 27, because I have that faith in Baker. Like I think this is the best situation Baker's ever been in, um, where he's got reliable receivers on both sides that he can deal with. You guys might have the best tackle duo in the Tampa Bay might have the best uh, left and right tackle duo in the NFL. It's definitely a top five pair. So they're gonna keep him clean, and our big sack guys are the edge guys.
Mhm.
Ed is super important because he's got to
Mhm.
provide that push right up the middle. So give me 31-27 Buffalo over Tampa Bay. And I think this comes down to Josh getting the ball last and scoring a touchdown to win the game. I think that's where it goes. I've got next to no faith in the linebackers outside of Terrell Bernard, and any offensive coordinator worth the worth the headset that they're wearing would see the last few games and see what's been happening at weak side linebacker and just go and attack that over and over and over again. So, um, you know, Chase Edmonds is a pass catching back. Rashad White can catch the ball out the backfield. I expect to see those guys have big games. Um, and Mike Evans down the field on Christian Benford, or
Benford.
uh, or Dane Jackson. I mean, we don't that's not a great matchup for us. So I think they're gonna light their scoreboard up. I think they're gonna score well. I think Baker Mayfield's gonna get a little bit more of a green light to kind of take some shots down the field. And I like this game. I like this game to be kind of high scoring. 31-27, man. Buffalo pulls one out, and um, I think the offense on both these teams kind of wakes up after this. I think this is a game where Baker gets that green light, and Coach Bowles says, "You know what? I might pull the reins off a little bit and let him, kind of cook a little bit more." So, um,
Hope
that's where
not
we
too
stand.
much, though. Sorry for
Not
that.
too much. Not too much. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just y'all
Start
owe us
next
one,
week.
man.
Yeah.
Y'all cheated. Y'all definitely cheated us in 2021. So
Oh,
y'all owe us
come
this, bro.
on, nah.
Yeah.
Y'all owe us this one, man. Y'all
Come
owe us this
on.
one, bro. For sure, for sure.
See, I'm not alone. I'm not alone in my thoughts on
But
that.
you even said that it wasn't us. It was,
I was,
the
yeah.
man was supposed to get passed off, and
Yeah,
So
I know.
it was just good play calling. That's all that was.
Great,
absolutely,
great game
absolutely,
though. It really was.
absolutely. All right, Thomas. Thank you so much for coming, man. I appreciate this more than you know. We do this every week, and we try to always get guests. We try to get guests to come in here and actually know the team. They're actual fans. This was short notice. You came through. You pulled up on us, and you did an excellent job. I appreciate it. I know the viewers as well. All four of them watching us right now. What's up, y'all? Don't
We
we'll
got
get we'll,
we're
we'll get
getting
more
views.
views. We
We're
get we
doing
get we
good.
get a lot of views. Yeah, we get a
Uh,
lot of views the day after, man. Like people
yep, we
like to
do.
listen to us for like an hour on their way to
Yep.
work or during their workout. So if you got anything to plug, your social media, whatever, man, take your time, man. Plug away, brother. Floor is yours. Did we lose him?
I don't know if he froze up, but he
Yeah, he
might have
froze up.
froze up. Oh, look at that! Right,
This is
what an
this is
exit that was, huh? That
this is
was.
awkward. This is awkward, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it
don't think
jams
that's
me
ever
up.
happened before. Oh, there he
Oh,
is.
there you
Okay,
go. He's back.
there
He's
we
back.
go.
All right.
I was
You
like,
got
it
Yeah.
was
anything to
So
like,
plug, Thomas?
hey,
Anything at all, social media wise?
no,
yeah,
no,
man.
no, nothing for me. I just love being on here, and I appreciate y'all for letting me talk football, chop it up with you guys.
Of course, man. And listen, I
Thank
don't know
you.
if you're on Twitter, but if you are,
Hmm.
let's man pull up to our spaces, man. We have spaces.
Yeah.
We probably do build spaces like at least every day, Monday through Friday, like while people at work and stuff like that. I'm in the office. I used to be on Twitter Spaces yelling at people, but now I'm in the office, so now I gotta be quiet.
Yeah.
So I'm doing a lot more like this. I'm like,
Whittle gets a lot of arrows thrown his way, and he just
a lot.
dusts them all off. That's what he does
Yeah.
Oh,
constantly.
and
No,
it's
but yeah, but
it's after 10 o'clock. It's after 10 o'clock. So I know there's a ton of Miami fans and a ton of people on Twitter who are thinking about me right now instead of the woman
and
or
you,
the man next to him. But whatever, hi,
okay.
hi haters,
You got
hi haters.
free space in their head, man. Come on now.
Yeah, man, I'm rent free a lot, man. Listen, the housing market is doing me right. I got a lot of places, man, rent free.
Yeah, Thomas,
Oh
definitely
man,
give Whittle. Make sure you give Whittle 2K a follow on
will
Twitter.
do.
Yeah, for sure, man, for
And call in
sure.
our spaces anytime, Thomas. They're always going on, and I Whittle and our buddy Leishon and a lot of us we run spaces all the time. So if you see Whittle in there at the top, definitely feel free to come on in. We don't always we talk about the Bills a lot, but we can always talk about other teams too.
Oh, well.
Absolutely.
As
And
long just
sometimes
as long no crazy trolling. That's try to
I
keep that to a
don't
minimum.
do that. I
No,
don't
he's
do
not a
nothing.
troll.
yeah, we don't
No.
like the troll either. But sometimes, listen, not this is who I am. But sometimes on Twitter, I have to turn into I like there's two Spider-Mans.
Yeah.
There's the red one, and then there's Venom. On
Yep.
Twitter, I got to turn to Venom sometimes. I don't like to, but sometimes I got to turn to Venom. So but that's not
Especially
me.
those
This is me.
especially after that Miami game. It was
Oh yeah,
it was unbelievable. Yeah. They're still
48. Can
making
you believe
excuses.
this?
First of all,
48-20, and they still talking trash.
They're still talking
How?
about the refs. I'm like, you lost by 28. I said, what is this?
Crazy. It's crazy.
I watched that game. I did watch it. I watched that, and I was like, "Yo, is that the team that scored 70 and held up team?" Oh, and
Mhm.
see, and that's when I was like, and like I told you, Beyond, I said, yeah, not looking forward to the October 26th. After that game, I did not look forward to
Oh
tomorrow,
yes.
but still.
But
uh,
you know what though, Whittle? Just think about that game, right? And my buddy who's a Miami fan called me after that. He said, "You guys look like an absolute machine." 3 weeks later, we're a mess. San
Bro,
Francisco a couple weeks
it's
ago
three
was a
quarters.
machine. They're a
Yeah.
little messy right now too. This league is crazy right now. I mean, besides Kansas City, who's just been grinding out wins, it's been pretty up and down for a lot of these teams. Philly's had their ups and downs, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Miami's had their ups and downs. I mean, is it really just about getting to December and healthy and rolling at the right time this year? Is that really what this is going to
That's
be?
it. Honestly, beyond nobody looks dominant this year. Nobody looks like they're gonna run away with anything. Yeah, Kansas City's record is what it is, but they still got to play us. They still got to play the Bengals. Like they still got to play the Dolphins. They still got some teams on there that they barely walked away with a victory against the Jets. So,
Mhm.
well, I mean, the referees that worked for Tom Brady now work for Mahomes. So they walked
There
away
it
with
is.
that. They walked away with a W that they really should not have had. But yeah, this is just we talked about this in the offseason, Beyond. It's not necessarily about what you do in September and October, man. We are a team built for December and January, and we need to be focused on positioning ourselves in the playoffs, trying our best to get as many home games as possible, and playing our best football leading up towards Christmas. So, walking into the playoffs walking into the playoffs playing our best football. What does help is that before the playoffs, before the playoffs start, we will definitely have Daquan Jones back, and we should be getting Matt Milano back by like the Miami game. The Miami game is like the first game he could actually see some snaps, which is going to be great because I can't. I just blowing them out at home is great, but I just really love blowing them out in their building. So
Especially since you're
let's
going to
get
be
Matt
there.
Milano.
You
It's,
know?
oh, listen. I'm gonna cut up in that stadium after we blow them out.
By the
Right?
way, Whittle, outside shot, I might roll up for that game, so I'll let you know if that happens. So,
Please do.
all
Please
right.
do. Pull up.
Yep. Yep.
Pull up, brother. Pull up. I might have my and a little bit of breaking news. Well, I'm not gonna break any news, but Andy Isabella will be active tomorrow night. So
There you go, your guy, Andy
I
Isabella.
am extremely happy about that. I'm gonna make some calls, and I'm gonna make some calls. I'm gonna send out some tweets, and I'm gonna try to see if I can get Andy on next week.
That would
But
be great.
he was supposed to come on he was supposed to come on in the preseason, and it just couldn't do it with the schedule with the schedule and all of that. So I'll reach out, man. We'll try to get that done. But Thomas, thank you. Beyond, thank you
Thank
to
you,
all the
Thomas.
viewers. Whether you view this live or you check us out, after the fact, we love it anyway. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, please. Ring the bell so that you know when we're putting out more content. We will be adding at least another show. Probably, I'm not sure if it's going to be on Friday night or Saturday morning. But it will feature you guys. It will feature the people out there that don't do content but are fans. We'll have a few of you guys on, and we'll chop it up about some Buffalo Bills topics, and and then we'll put that out for the masses and see how it's received. But because I'm gonna be honest with you, it's a fact that they may not be watching this show, but it's a fact that these players are paying attention. It's a fact that these coaches are paying attention to some content on YouTube and on these different streaming platforms. They're paying attention. So the more that we can get the fans to talk and to express themselves and the more hopefully they will listen, and hopefully Ken Dorsey will figure out a good plan of attack on offense. But
Let's not hold our breath too hard on that, though.
I'm not, man. I'm not. Jesus, man,
I was like, he could tell how negative we are about Mr. Dorsey right now.
Hey.
I'm waiting for Miami to call. Like, University of Miami, pick up the phone, hire him as your head coach, please.
Yep.
Take him.
Carolina
already
won't
got-
do that, Tom.
No.
See, there it is.
No.
Yeah.
We'll sit with
yeah.
Mac Brown, baby.
Yep.
Yeah, we got to talk, man, because my brother-in-law went to North Carolina. He played basketball out there, but you got him by a few years, but you may still know him. But we'll talk about that offline, man.
Okay.
But hey, everybody, check us out. Listen, this is the Coast to Coast podcast. Myself, Whittle2K. All my socials at Whittle2K. I'm on Twitter. I don't really do much on Instagram. I'm about to change that. I'm about to get popping on there. But you can check us out. Like I'm very, very active on Twitter, and my co-host Beyond 716, he as well is active on Twitter. He's not as much of a firecracker as I am, but
I join in from time to time, Whittle. I come back.
Yeah.
Sometimes it does happen. So
yeah, sometimes he gets a little beside himself, but
Yeah.
that's me all the time on Twitter. But anyway, listen, we appreciate everybody stopping through, no matter whether you watch it live or you watch it after the fact. We appreciate it. Like and subscribe. Check us out. We'll be back next week previewing the Bengals game. And yeah, man. Beyond, you got anything?
No, just let's hope for a great game tomorrow night. Again, Thomas, it's been a pleasure. I've been looking forward to this all week. So definitely, let's hope for a clean game tomorrow. Let's hope for no injuries tomorrow, please. I mean, all these injuries we're seeing in
Absolutely.
the NFL. I mean, really, it's like I even saw your face when you mentioned injuries. It's just it's the face we're all making now. It's just
Right.
unbelievable. So let's just hope for injury free and a great game tomorrow night. But Want to thank
That's
everybody
it.
out there, especially in our group, in our chat. It's always lively in there. As always, Coach Chris Settle, and Patrick as well. So it was great having you in there. So good night, everyone.
Hey, go Bills.
Go Bills.
Go Bucs.